Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Q Lads channel. We are back for another game of the URC Munster versus the Stormers. Now at this stage, three South African sides this round have been extremely close to picking up a win, but it has been the opposition every time they have been able to walk away with the victory. Now in this game, the Stormers come in as massive underdogs. So the question is, can they be the first South African team of the round to get the win? At the moment, the table sits as follows. Ulster at the top of the bunch, sitting on 18. Edinburgh in second. The Bulls, they are doing the best of the South African sides. As you can see, the next team from South Africa actually in ninth here with the Stormers, Munster in 8th. So whoever wins this game will shoot themselves, to be honest, right up to about here. So it is a massive game, and hopefully both sides do end up doing extremely well. For Munster, they have got quite a few international players returning to their side. Jeremy Luckman in the front row alongside Buckley and John Ryan. Adogbo in the midfield, or in the locking duo alongside Tyg Byrne, the Irish international who had an absolutely tremendous Rugby World Cup. Peter O'Mahony at 6, Hodnett at 7, and Gavin Coombs slotting in as the number 8. Craig Casey and Jack Crowley will be the 19 combo that they have gone with in this matchup. Alex Nankerville, of course, the ex-Chiefs player at 12, and Antoine Frisch on his outside at 13. McCarthy, Nash, and Daly as the back three. Then for the Stormers, this is the side that I mentioned were coming in as the big underdogs, want to cause an upset and want to get themselves some points on the board. They've had a couple decent performances over the last 2 weeks, and by that I mean they've done well with what they've done on the field to still be close in games. They've given away a lot of penalties, a lot of handling errors, but somehow they still hang in there right to the final whistle. Satoli at number 1, Joseph Duepa, his lineouts are going to be absolutely crucial here up against Tyg Byrne and Nederland Fouché at number 3. Ruben van Heeren at 4 with Porter as the 5. Willie Engelbrecht, we haven't really seen a huge amount of him. In fact, you wouldn't even know he was out there on the field. Ben Jason Dixon at number 7 and Evan Ruiz at number 8. Paul de Vet and also Yanni Duplessis will be, or Jean-Luc Duplessis I should say, as the 19 combo. Sasha Ngumezulu returns to number 12 with Ruan Nel on his outside at 13. Lillian Zas. Ben Loader moves to number 14, which is an interesting choice, seeing as he has been going so well in that 12 or 13 jersey. But the thing is, the Stormers, they've got a lot of depth in this back line. So Loader moves his way out to the wing, and I still feel he'll have a decent performance. And Warwick Gallant to close out the Stormers lineup, and they're starting 15. In the comments, we have got the Hi All and Hamish, says Robert, and also how's it Hamish, says David Dempster. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Come on, Munster, says Connor. And since Johnny Sexton retired, the company he joined will be giving loads of money to the Stormers, says Irish One in there as well. But looking through at the Stormers, the previous results that they have had, as you can see, they've had a few close games. Benetton beating them last week, though. That was considered actually supposed to happen, I should say. They were, for me, the favourites going into that game, but Benetton have got a very strong side this year and actually find themselves sitting about 7th on the table currently. Glasgow got themselves a win over the Stormers too. Big win for the Stormers over the Scarlets when they were at home, and then the away win to the Lions in the first round of the URC. For Munster, they did have their game up against the Barbarians, in which they did win 52 points to 35. They beat the Sharks in round 1. They had a draw with Benetton in round number 2. So it just tells you Benetton are a side that can be very decent. They beat the Dragons. They got beaten by Ulster. So these two sides have got a little bit of a similar path to where they've got to now, both sitting very similar on the table. Someone's shooting up and the other side is staying exactly where they are, if not lowering by the end of this round in the URC. We have got there as well. Why can't you go back? Why can't you do back-to-back URC games? Says Morning Lagrange. Well, this game, we were thinking about doing Sharks versus Connacht, but we did need to sleep at some stage, seeing as we had been awake for quite a bit of time. We've got to remember these games are taking place at about 4 a.m. New Zealand time. This one's a 6:15 start, so it's a little bit nicer, but I am still running off only 3 hours sleep. So that is the main reason we haven't been able to do as many back-to-back games, mainly because cricket started back up and we've been playing cricket throughout the day. Need to try and sleep it off a little bit. Let's go, boys. Says not your everyday cultures, and Benetton only undefeated side so far, says Kerr. And also morning, says Kerr. And there, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. And today is the day where Jean-Luc must prove himself if he wants to keep a spot in the team Well, that's the thing. They've got Clayton Blommetjes. They've got a few great players returning very soon, whether that is Mani Libok, whether that is Damien Valimza. And I'll be honest, I don't think Jean-Luc Duplessis will be keeping a spot if either of those two were returning, the last two that I mentioned. But yeah, at the moment, Blommetjes is probably the man who's right on his heels trying to get that spot. It looks like Munster will be the team kicking off here with Jack Crowley. Stormers in their away kit with the black. They have had quite a few away games, only the one home. But two of their games in the URC thus far being played in South Africa. But Jack Crowley now to kick this one off high, get us underway. Munster are considered heavy favourites. And when you look through at all the internationals in their side, you can understand why. We have got there a high ultra still Kiwi Lad supporters are well. I hope, or looks like South African sides are having a bad weekend. Hope the Stormers can bag a win, says Arthur. Yeah, currently 0 from 3. But a lot of their games have been decided by only a few points. I know that there's a good charge down from Dogbu, goes into touch, and it is now going to be the Stormers with the line out about 25 metres out from their own line. Yeah, the Sharks losing by 1. We saw the Bulls losing by a little bit of a bigger margin. They did well to pull it back the way that they did, but it was still, unfortunately, a loss for them. And then we also saw the Lions getting defeated earlier on in the weekend. Joseph Duweba throws it in and nicely taken at the front. That is already one line out straight that will give him a bit of confidence, and that is how it needs to stay throughout the rest of this game. Because any opportunity you give Munster to be able to counter-attack, they will well and truly take it. They're one of those sides that can be extremely clinical, but we've got to remember this is actually a rematch of the final that we saw last year. So these two sides should be relatively evenly matched. They were in that game where Munster eventually walked away with the victory. Paul DeVet now with the ball 25 metres out from his own line. Looking to go for this box kick. Taking his time as well, wanting to make sure he gets the good angle on it. Oh, it's dropped clean. Who was that by? I think that was actually Shane McCarthy who put that ball down straight through his hands, and then it was actually knocked on by Roan Nell as well. So now we will have the first scrum of the day. But we've had a few low-scoring games of the URC this weekend. We've got a gifted membership from Arthur as well. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated for your generosity. McCarthy not happy with putting that one pretty much straight through the bread basket, as it's known. Slow call, hit up, control the weight, is the comment from the referee. Do Munster have the international players back in the squad? They certainly do. A majority of them anyway, I think. I want to say 90% of them. So Tyke Byrne, Peter O'Mahony. You've got Craig Casey back in there. Who else have they got? Jeremy Luckman. I think Kelvin Nash, was he in the international team? Or did he just miss out? It's not a good weekend for South Africa teams in general, including the Cricket World Cup semi-final. Says Monty Lagrange. Yeah, it was unfortunate for South Africa, but tell you what, Australia looked phenomenal in the field. And they saved so many runs by not just bowling well, but also fielding well. And I feel like they'll be a bigger challenge for India, just looking at the way that the two sides played last time rather than the way that India and South Africa played. Because if India won the toss-up against South Africa, it was probably going to be about a 200-run defeat. Because, unfortunately, we have seen that happen when India really get going nicely. Run onto that one for Crowley, who puts the boot downfield. I think that ball has been booted out on the full. Yes, it has, of his left boot. Really got a good piece of it, but it goes straight out. And now the Stormers have got themselves another line out inside of the half of Munster. Fast-paced game already. I think they mentioned there was a little bit of wetness around. A bit of slippery. Oh, it's a good low tackle on Crowley, though. Right, Joseph Duweba with the line-out throw. And it's stolen there by Tyke Byrne. He's been able to clean it up now. Kicked it behind from Jack Crowley. Gets a good bit of rolling on that ball into the 22 of the Stormers. Ben Loader fires it back across to Warakalant. Did struggle a little bit in his last game. Looks like there's already an injury. And that looks like Evan Ruiz is actually the man who has stayed down. The penalty magnet for the Stormers. Hopefully nothing too serious. Craig Casey now looking to put this one up high with the box kick. Stormers winger Ben Loader. In fact, it's Warakalant waiting for it. Finds the pass across now. Evan Ruiz. Okay, it's not him because he is now running around with the ball in hand. Paul DeVette putting the ball up high once more. Who could it? It could be Gary Porter. I'm just looking through for numbers that aren't in action at the moment. But I think the guy who was down has actually already gotten up. By the looks of it, Jack Crowley, another low skidding kick. He's already working out the conditions. Jean-Luc Duplessis. Now to kick it deep. Across the field, nicely cleaned up at the back from Munster, currently trying to win the territory game, and instead actually going to have a bit of a run. Shane Daly doesn't manage to get through the gap, and they have actually got the penalty advantage. Now Munster slung in behind. You mentioned Alex Nankerville going to be playing at number 12 for them in this contest, and that is going to be the penalty. We have got World Rugby have admitted the World Cup was fixed. Says Crumpers, well, they haven't, but they've said that there were mistakes made throughout the competition, which, I mean, you don't really want to see, because at the end of the day, like, that does hurt, like, the credibility of World Rugby, because, of course, they'd want to make sure that everything's running as smoothly as possible, but, yeah, it was something that everyone said before the World Cup, everyone said during the World Cup, and everyone said after the World Cup, is they just need consistency in the refereeing. Like, that's the main thing that needs fixed, and we need to stop the TMOs from having as much power as they do, because that's why the URC does so well. That's why pretty much any other competition, the Six Nations, Super Rugby, the Rugby Championship, that's why they do so well, is because they don't allow the TMO to control the game. They allow the referee to have a bit more of a voice. We have got there Krampus, and with the conspiracy theory, says Waterfan Sports. And also, do you put your money on India to win the World Cup? There's probably not a lot of money to be made. At the moment, it was actually Porter who did go off the field with that injury. And now Smith already out there a lot earlier than he would have been anticipating, but now it's going to be thrown in nicely. Going to Peter O'Mahony, back into the Munster kit. He'll be keen to get some more rugby under his belt. Rolling maul, goes towards the touchline. It's actually Paul DeVette who has cut that one off very nicely. Now Evan Ruiz trying to go for the counter ruck. Almost works for him. In fact, it does. He does just enough to be able to knock that ball loose. Waterfan Sports, do you need more sleep? Says it was Kerr. Now, speaking of sleep, Kerr, have you been able to get much of it, and whereabouts are you now? Are you still in Miami, or have you moved somewhere else now? We have got there. What match are you doing next? I think, to be honest, this is our only match of the weekend, I believe, if I'm not wrong. It's been one of the busier weekends outside of rugby, so sadly we've only been able to cover the one game of the URC, but we are hoping to do a lot more next week. We've also got the Dubai Sevens coming up in 2 weeks' time, and then also the Cape Town Sevens a little bit after that. But all along the Sevens, we're also going to be doing the URC as well. That means the World Cup is null, void, and the Boring Box didn't win. No, but they did. Like, their name's on the trophy, and they're not going to take that off them. So South Africa are the world champions. Whether you like it or not, whether you've seen any articles from World Rugby or not, at the end of the day, they aren't going to re-engrave that trophy, because there's no way for them to do that. South Africa have more points on the board at the end of the day. I've been from Miami to Tampa, and now back in Miami till next week, says Kerr. And there's, there's going to be a scrum feed on the halfway line, and Leinster are playing tonight. Says Connor, who are they playing? They've got, it's going to annoy me. It's not the Dragons, is it? Have they got the Dragons? I think they might have played the Dragons last week. Who are Leinster playing? They got a game, don't they? Who are they up against? Leinster and Glasgow are the big games today, says Kerr there. Wait, are Leinster playing Glasgow today? Why are they? Oh no, they've got two different games, don't they? And Krampus wears a tinfoil hat, says Water Sports fan. I've just realised what you said, Kerr, as well, about me saying Waterfan Sports, how I got it completely round the wrong way. And it took about 10 minutes. I actually think I've got heat stroke from today, but we're going strong. Oh, big run like Ivan Ruiz there. And the Scarlet says, Johan, another knock on. That time it's Willie Engelbrecht. And Glasgow have Benetton, and Leinster have Scarlet. See what? Glasgow Benetton's going to be a good game. And hopefully, I mean, Leinster Scarlets hopefully will be as well, but yeah, I think Glasgow versus Benetton will be the pick of those two. Going to be rolled back now for Craig Casey to put the ball high. Nicely taken by Watakalent, who is now 43 metres out. Oh, he's trying to break through, but he has been taken down eventually by the Munster defence. Good low tackle made from Tyburn. Now Paul Davitt going back. Jean-Luc Duplessis, little chipping behind, but it's claimed by Munster, who do have men back there. Nankerville with the pass out wide. They're trying to say a went forward, but instead it will be play on. Calvin Nash gets his offload away. Hodnitz wrestled into touch. Ruan now takes it quickly. So it is going to be play on, and the Stormers fullback here. Watakalent under a lot of pressure. Thought he had the better of Crowley, but in fact he's been taken down nicely. Morning all, says Rave. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. And Glasgow and Leinster should be the top of the table, or should be top of the table after tonight, says Kerr there. That is going to be the penalty going in favour of the Stormers here. Tackle off the ball is the call. So we've actually already had 2 tackles off the ball in this contest, 1 for each of the sides. They're doing very well at the moment, Munster. When Stormers are putting them under huge pressure, they're still keeping that ball offloading. Evan Ruiz already looking like he's going to be a danger in this game. It's just whether or not that discipline will hold up compared to some of the previous games that he's played in. Now another line-out throw for the Stormers, still 0-0 after 11 minutes in this contest. I mentioned about it, how closely contested the games between these two sides normally are. The final was no different last year. Nicely claimed by Ruben van Heeren, now going off to Jean-Luc Duplessis. Nice run forward from Evan Ruiz. And South Africa have been wiped from all records. New Zealand have now won 5 World Cups, England have 3, and Australia have 2, says Crumpers. Yeah, but they don't. You know, it's like South Africa, they are still top of the bunch. They've got the 4 World Cups under their belt. But at the end of the day, you can't change rugby, or you can't change results in rugby. The result is the result, so you got to accept it. Going to be put high. Chance, yeah, nope, not taken cleanly by Shane Daly, but it's going to be an advantage in their favour, I should say. Forgot the V. Craig Casey kicking it in behind. Looking for the 50-22. That ball's going to keep on bouncing. 5 metres out now from their own line. The Stormers, Ben Loader running onto this one. Decent amount of distance on it, but does not find touch. Now charging forward, Munster on the halfway line. Shane Daly gets tackled by Johan Nielen-Foucher. Ruiz trying to get the turnover. Has lost its footing. Crowley now putting the kick on behind once more. It almost might be a 50-22. It's gone out. I think it's going to be the Stormers who do have this line out though. And yep, nobody recognises it. Nope. Says Grumpus. No, but they do, because their trophy, like the trophy that is theirs at the moment for the last 8 years, or will be 8 years by the time the next World Cup comes around, has got South Africa on it. It's a good kick. Was taken back by Munster. It looks like Crowley might have a bit of an injury. He has been targeted in this game. They've decided that they can't stop this Munster backline. They might as well stop the number 10, who is keeping this backline flowing. Oh, Willie Engelbrecht might also have an injury. Ask them, nobody takes South Africa seriously, says Crumpus. But they're like world champs, Crumpus. You know, like they've won the last 2 World Cups. So I feel like any side that doesn't take them serious gets beaten by them. You know, France got beaten by 1 point. England got beaten by 1 point. New Zealand got beaten by 1 point. And then they won. And hey, Hamish, how's it going? Me and my girlfriend, Jacayla. Just woke up. We are watching your live stream, says Ollie. So welcome to both of you. You guys must be like 3 months in or something like that in your anniversary, is it? Red World Cup, Hamish. Get real, man. Says Crumpus. No, you're just whiny. I think it's the best way of describing it, Crumpus. The results happen. You just got to get over it, unfortunately. Now, nice run forward from Gavin Coombs. Now, Munster, Craig Casey going off to the left-hand side. Little bit of a step there from Nankerville, showing off some of that strength that he uses for the Chiefs. That should be the penalty advantage against Ruben van Heeren as well for not rolling away. Crowley with a wide cutout pass. Not a lot of space, and Loader drives him backwards. You're right, buddy. Stands Ollie, and they are now going back for the original penalty. This will be a 3-pointer if they want it rigged, Hamish. Do you know what that means, says Crumpus? I do, but then also, do you know what whiny means? Because that is literally what I'm hearing from you. Maybe I'd be less harsh if I didn't have heat stroke, but yeah, I'm just calling it as it is. Like, most people by now have gotten over the World Cup. It was actually not Ben Loader. It was Warwick Calant who was doing the driving pick-up tackle. It looks like Crowley is going to be going for the 3 points. You're being childish, Hamish. I am. Okay. But now Crowley, 20 metres from the line. This should be a nice, easy 3 for Munster. Crowd are completely silent at the ground. Thorpman Park is the name of it. I haven't got Thorpman Park behind me. It's actually a different one, but that one's gone over. 3 points to 0 now for Munster in this contest. So a good start to the match for them. They've earned those early 3 points. I could see this being a trialist first half. There's potential. And who wins this one, says Danston? Well, Munster come in as huge favourites by about $1.20 favourites compared to the $4 underdog of Munster. That's the same team of the Stormers. Sharks was wasteful, to say the least, says Danston. Yeah, I mean, Connacht, they came in as underdogs, but I honestly, off Sharks' current form, they are currently 5 losses from 5. So I think that's not a good start, but they still managed to be favourite. Heat strokes at 6:32 a.m. Yeah, because I got it yesterday, and then I only went to sleep at about 2 a.m. But I was walking to the car. Me and George went out and about after I finished cricket, and I almost fell over, which wasn't good. But we're all right. We're on a seat, so we can't fall theoretically unless we go sideways. Morning mate from Germany says, Ta. And Hamish, who is a cheeky monkey, Reed or Lee or Harrison or my girlfriend? Says Ollie, well, if your girlfriend's a cheeky monkey, I'm sure you are the only one who knows about said cheeky monkeyness. But, one of them probably is a bit of a cheeky monkey. Oh, good tackle. There, I give you honest opinion on who wins this one, mate, says Danston. See, I think Munster have made less errors so far. So, at the end of the day, the Stormers, they normally just rack up error after error after error. We've seen that the last 2 weeks in those 2 games that they have struggled in. But they still have enough firepower to be able to win games. So, that probably didn't answer your question because I kind of said both teams. And away, nice run forward from Warwick Calant. Evan Ruiz now, low tackle made by Jeremy Luckman, but they go to the short side here. The Stormers, Ben Jason Dixon tackled on the halfway line. He tried to look for the offload, it's gone backwards, pulled the vet. Goes to Evan Ruiz, inside ball to Willie Engelbrecht. All 3 of the Stormers loose forward trio getting involved. Now niddling for Share. Crashes forward, little bit of a chance for Gavin Coombs to get the turnover, and he's done just that, and then Craig Casey knocks it on, and we will have a scrum on the halfway line. And morning mate from Germany says, only 17 minutes in, 3 points to 0. Low scoring contest, but we have seen that throughout the URC, that quite a few of the games have been a little bit lower scoring. Currently, Ospreys are playing the Dragons in the other contest, and it is sitting 5-0 for the Ospreys. We'll go like this as well. I want to see what the odds are sitting at for this match. I think my girlfriend is not a cheeky monkey. She's a much beautiful girlfriend, Shakayla, to me, says Ollie. So that is good. That is good that you are happy, Ollie. And also, Stormers need a proper number 6. I'll be honest, I've been a little bit disappointed with Willie Engelbrecht so far. We haven't really seen anything in regards to superstardom at this point. He's just not quite finding his feet. I think that's hurting him quite a bit. All right, we will go like this. We'll go like that. There we go. Now a little bit of a push forward there from the Stormers. I don't think there is going to be a penalty in their favour. She was always cheeky monkey with me, says Kerr. And I suppose the Kiwis will be crying for another 4 years. Get over it. Springboks are number 1, says Craig. The funny thing is, Craig, what's his name? Crumpus is English. The Kiwis at this stage, I think a lot of New Zealanders have accepted the result and said fair play. I know that there's still a few that are going on about it. And then, of course, the news broke that World Rugby apologised to the All Blacks for the mistake at the TMO for the disallowed try. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. South Africa were like the team that lifted the trophy. They were the team that had 3 1-point victories throughout their playoff games, so they certainly did enough to earn that trophy. Just showing here, Evan Ruiz. I think they're going to say, yeah, side entry from Crowley, which does now mean that it is, oh, that's a big clean out on him though. Oh, and then a kick to the face. That's a bit of fun. We have got there, have you seen Glasgow's new French youngster who plays 10? Unsure why. He went to Scotland so young. He looks good. He's got a good hand, says Water Sports Fan. They've got some great players. Didn't Dwayne Barnes get a medal though? He did. And the Emperor's refereeing. It's also bucketing down for this game, I should mention. How many Irish names, Hamish? Pretty much all of them for Munster are back now, but that kick has missed away to the left-hand side as the wind and the rain starts to really come down. It does not look good at the moment in terms of the weather. You wouldn't be throwing a picnic or a barbecue anytime soon if you are in Ireland. Well, it depends on what part. It's probably sunny somewhere, I would assume, or it's night time, so maybe not a huge amount of sun. Ben O'Keefe got a sack of cash too, says Crumpus. Yeah, although he wasn't part of the final, was he? So that's all right. It's going to be put up high now. Close to the touchline. It's actually gone out on the full from the Stormers again. And it's just these little mistakes that normally end up going back to back to back. And Barnes Rugby World Cup winner 2023, says Kerr there. And I think the Stormers also need a bomb squad, says Derek. And I guess because they are missing their internationals, they are struggling a little bit. I'll be honest, I still feel they're a strong enough side that even with their internationals missing, there should be enough potential to be able to get wins. Like when you look through at their side and you look through at the potential backline that they can go with, you know, Ngume Zulu, he's supposed to be the next big thing for the South Africans in about 3 or 4 years. He's expected to do very well, maybe even getting that chance at international duty. You've also got Ruan Nel, who's normally a solid man in the midfield. Hamish is squirming, says Crumpus. A Benetton win later on. I think it will be a tough game for them. But at the end of the day, almost kicked in the face hole. I think a Dogbo put his head down. Ngume Zulu said, is that a ball? And almost knocked his front teeth out. If it is raining, then it is bad weather in Ireland. Because this is Ireland, says Bedrag. And also we have got there, they bloody well better not, says Danston. Could be a close game, but I still think that Glasgow should get the job done in that matchup. Can hear the Munster chants 21 minutes into this contest, 3-0 at the moment in favour of the South African, in favour of the Irish team in this one, Munster. And that one has not gone the way they would have liked. Unfortunately, not straight from Joseph Dweber. It just hurts them so much. Who are the other hookers at the Stormers? I know that they've got the man off the bench, Andre Hugo Fenta, but who else is in that squad, ladies and gents, that they've got up their sleeve? International duty-wise, I don't believe Umbanambi or Marks. No, Marks isn't there. Umbanambi, I think he's still at the... he's gone from the Sharks, though, hasn't he? I don't know where he's ended up. Munster, where's Ardy Snyman? Well, they've got a bit of a situation at the moment because they unfortunately cannot have Jean Klein and R.G. Snyman in the same team due to Jean Klein's international caps for South Africa. Pretty much, Ireland have a quota system themselves, which involves international players not being able to take up too many spots in their sides. And with Jean Klein and R.G. Snyman now both having represented South Africa, they actually, I believe, aren't able to have both of them in their squad. They're going to try and get around it, I believe, because they want to keep both players. But, yeah, because of those international caps for Jean Klein, it actually means that it makes it very tricky. They should get that Solomon's kid. He's a great hooker in Portugal versus Georgia under 18s. Portugal 0-0. And also that is at 5:35. And Glasgow problems as Dobby is out now injured for 3 months and whereas been given 3-match bans. Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of a gap there to fill. I believe Benetton will win tonight, says Danston. And looking at the odds, Glasgow are $1.20 favourites compared to Benetton's $4.50. And just to put that into perspective, at the moment the Stormers are $4.60 underdogs, so about that same odd. They are only 3 down at the moment, the Stormers. That is the main thing that they've got to try and base, I guess, this first half off, is even though they haven't been able to get too much attack going, they still haven't conceded a try. Benetton has been looking immaculate lately. They've got a very good squad. I was talking to George about it yesterday, about Benetton and how good they were looking. That's a knock on there from Ben Jason Dixon, another one. So we are going back for yet again another scrum. Munster's feed. I'm going to have a quick look to see if there has been any more tries in the other contests. 5-0 at the moment for the Ospreys. So 2 low-scoring games we have seen thus far. Did you see the signing for Munster? Depends which signing we are talking, Padraig, but probably not yet. Unless it's like a signing from a little while ago. 5 handling errors from Munster. 4 from the Stormers in this matchup. They've been very even. And to be honest, it could be one mistake. We have got there a damage from the Stormers scrum. Says Mimania. The ball is fed in by Munster. Look to push forward. Going off to this right-hand side. Craig Casey, loop in play. Crowley gets Alex Nankervel's hands, who moves up now to the 22 metres out. Casey going back to the left. Good low tackle made on Gavin Coombs. Now Casey going across once more. Big shot in the middle for Scott Buckley. Good chance for Munster here if they can just keep that ball in hand. Trying to find the offload backwards. Frisch, they say, play on. Nankervel now. Moving at 20 metres out. Casey back to Byrne. Inside ball to his locking partner in Odogbo. Munster can get this out wide, although the Stormers are coming up very flat and just cutting off that first passing option. Evan Ruiz told he wasn't allowed to go for it. And come on, Munster, says Padraig. Jeremy Luckman, still 22 metres out. Crowley, back across to Gavin Coombs. They are being patient at the moment, knowing that they can't rush this. Passing out wide to Calvin Nash, who decides to run straight sideways for now. Sitoli trying to get the turnover, doesn't quite get it. Where's the match being played? Which stadium? So it is at the Thorntman Park that they are playing at for this contest. Luckman now slinging it in behind to the left. Here comes the space for Munster. Shane Daly tackled by Ben Loader, who looks for a bit of a counter ruck. Doesn't get the ball though. Now Nankervel, quick hands to Crowley. Over the top to Hodnett, who has to run backwards again for Munster. Stormers defence holding up thus far. Up to 10 phases in a row. No advantage given away. Big shot on Peter O'Mani by Nedeling Fouché. There was a knock on. And now it's going to be the Stormers scrum. Very good defence. Munster throwing everything at the line, but weren't quite able to get through. Is it hard to see? Says Padraig. Like the game? Not really, no. Even with the rain, we're all right from the wide angle. I have to say, whatever camera they've got here has got quite a bit of moisture running down it. And Thorntman, and also we have got the High Amish on a 4-week break, says Brandon. Yeah, hopefully you are enjoying your break then. Big shot on Peter O'Mani, who just knocks it on as he was tackled low by Joseph Dueba. Now another scrum. Stormers, they've been looking good so far at scrum time, so they may even look to try and get themselves the penalty advantage here if it becomes an option. Rain. Sounds like it's stopped for now, which is promising, although it was absolutely bucketing down. Only a couple minutes ago. Paul DeVette feeding the ball into the Stormers scrum. You get a good shove going. The referee about to give them the advantage, but instead it is going to be play on. Sasha Ngume Zulu kicks it in behind. Ben Loader looked to kick it downfield again. Hamish had his holiday time request denied by HR, says Kerr. Yeah, I don't actually know when my holiday is at the moment. I'm having my birthday like 2 weeks later than it is, which is probably smart because of how busy it's going to be with the sevens. But yeah, it'll be interesting. See how we go around Christmas, because I want to do the BBL as well, the KFC Big Bash and the cricket. We normally end up doing that around this time of year alongside the URC as well. We're hoping to be able to do both. So we might find ourselves quite busy. Nicely thrown in. Ben Loader. No, that's Ben Jason Dixon. They've got a lot of Bens today. 2. That's a lot though. More than 1. Paul the Vet kicks the ball up high. And it's going to bounce awkwardly. But it's taken by Munster once more. Slippery out on that wing is Shane McCarthy, who gets back to his feet twice. It's taken down again. And also we're there, you're going to cover the 1872 Cup. 1872 Cup. Is that the Curry Cup? 1872 Cup, what is that? I feel like that should hit me in the brain cell, but it hasn't. 1872 Cup. It's the league. Scottish Professional Clubs Glasgow and Edinburgh Rugby wins that. Out of curiosity. Is it a part of the URC as well, or is it a separate game that happens, Kirk? Because if it's part of the URC, we should be able to cover it. Should be completely fine. Now, Dogbo's been hit on his jaw. I don't know if they'll look at that again, but it looked kind of bad. Now it's going to slip through the hands of Munster again, still juggling it. They've lost about 15 metres in the process there. Alex Nankerville having to clean up. We got Thanksgiving here in the US. I'm off for 4 days, says Robert. Sounds all right. Thanksgiving. Is that the eggnog one? When do you have, is eggnog Christmas or Thanksgiving? And then there's pumpkins that get involved somewhere along the way. Is that Thanksgiving? Now, what a Kalank, good fend there on the halfway line. Short ball going through here. Lillian Zuss, the first chance for the Stormers on attack. He tried to kick it forward. Crowley's got time to be able to clear it. And does get the ball way downfield. 50-22 chance, but it does roll back in. Part of the URC but called the 1872 Cup to mark the oldest rugby union derby, says Kerr. One moment, we'll grab the phone. Is that next week, Kerr, or the week after that one takes place? It's just a good little chip and chase from Lillian Zuss. Just ran out of the speed as the ball bounced sideways. We have got there Greens from Cape Town to Hamish and all the Kiwi Rockers. And also sounds pretty boring stuff, says Stefan. I'll be honest, if you like high-scoring games of rugby, this one's not for you, because 3-0 at the moment after 31 minutes. Although, if it makes you feel better, the other game that has taken place is only sitting 5 points to 3. So actually 2 low-scoring games taking place side by side, played over Christmas, New Year period, says Kerr. Actually, now that you've said that, there is normally a game on about the 31st here in New Zealand for the URC. I'm going to have a quick look. Munster play the Leinster team. There it is. Yep, the 23rd of Saturday. No, the 23rd of December. Yep, we'll do that one. Ulster versus Connacht, the Irish derby taking place at the same time, but we'll do Glasgow, Edinburgh, I would say. I think. Yeah. We might have to delay the birthday another week. We'll just have it for New Year's. First game on the 22nd of December. And they were so close, says Padraig. The win predictor at the moment does have Munster as a 73% chance of winning this game. But they have only got the 3 points on the board at this point. They were so close, says Padraig. Pumpkin pie and turkey, says Robert. Do like a bit of turkey. Munster player ears bleeding. That is Jeremy Luckman. Be a bit painful to hear. Well, that's not quite how. Is that how it works? Might be. You know, if your ear's bleeding, I assume that it doesn't feel great to try and listen. But I don't think it takes like muscles to listen. I'm thinking too deep. And Christmas is eggnog, says Robert. But now passed out the back line, chipped him behind once again. Just looking for the territory game here, Munster. They will go back for the original penalty advantage, though. Stormers versus the Bulls on Sunday morning. in New Zealand, and then also Leinster Munster on the Wednesday morning New Zealand time. So, yeah, a few good games taking place, a lot of derbies. I've missed you, rugby fans. I worked like a Trojan, knackered and having gin and tonic, water with cheese and crackers. And that happens, Padraig. And the late toy show, says Padraig. Now it looks like Jack Crowley has stayed down for a little bit longer, so they will have to check on him. He's been targeted, like I mentioned, throughout this game. It's a massive hits being put into him. And yeah, unfortunately, that one is high from Ruan now, so that will probably be something that they look at again. He should be fine. I think that will just be a penalty, but it was very close to the head. Looks like it is neck. Yeah, oh, that angle makes it look worse, but I think it is still neck, and then it hits him on the chin. They've said the tackle was not high. Hamish still upset and getting over the All Blacks World Cup loss to the Bok, says Ruth there. Although, the good news is, 4 years' time, we get to see it all again. Hamish, they are checking it on the TMO, says Padraig. Roanel is not happy. He said it's hit him in the chest and then gone up, and it sounds like they are not going to check this. Yeah, they've said that it's fine. Right, they're going for the corner rather than the 3 points. They are 40 metres out, so they could have opted to go for the extra 3, get 6 points ahead, but they've decided the corner instead, kicking it into the wind. It's going to be a relatively tricky one to be able to do, but it does go into touch. Morning, Kiwi lads. Cheers, Blues, Nate. Welcome in, mate. And no Boxing Day here, says Robert. Does Australia have Boxing Day, don't they? Because we have the Boxing Day test match between Australia and whoever they're playing. There's a red card for the Ospreys in their game, which is interesting. That now means that even though they've got themselves a little bit of an advantage on the scoreboard, they might now be up against it for the rest of their game. But currently 34 minutes into this contest, still 3-0. The Stormers at home, they are not. They've only had one home game this year, and they were able to win it. Their 3 away games, they have lost every single one of them. Some by very close margins, though. Now Tyke Byrne getting that line out right. Here comes the rolling maul from Munster. It's going to be hard to stop from here. They've got the penalty advantage as well. Nicely shifted back by Scott Buckley. Now Craig Casey, ball out wide. The big boys trying to get it moving out wide, but he has been pushed into touch for John Ryan, and now 5 metres out from the line, they have another decision to make. And hey, Hamish, don't forget your Santa Claus suit. You have the mustache, says Roof. Believe it or not, I do own a Santa suit. It's not like a good one, but it's one that you're like, oh yeah, that's Santa. We'll have to bring it out for maybe about Christmas live streams. We got one on the 24th, so maybe that would make sense. Stormers versus the Bulls could be dressed as Santa for that one. And Marina Roof, enjoy the gin and tonic. There's Blues, Nate. But now they have kicked for the corner again here. Munster only 5 metres out. Scott Buckley needs this line out straight, and he has done just that. Nicely claimed by Tyke Byrne, and now the rolling maul is just about to commence. They've got another penalty advantage. Craig Casey hanging on to that one, but Buckley says, I like my chances. Stormers diving all over it, and the penalty goes the way of Munster again. We've got a timeout. And now the referee warning the Stormers for the last time. Stupid. This stage of the game, you take your points. Says Stefania would give them a 6-point lead if they were to take the 3, and it still seems like they are not willing to do so. They want to keep applying that pressure. In this case, I can understand it now because they've already tried twice. So they're like, well, if we've tried this many times, we might as well keep on going. We're getting penalties. But the original decision I would have thought was an easy 3 points. Crusaders should toss South Africa. Says 1-2-3 miss. And also their All Blacks try was fine. It should have been allowed. Says Ruth. And also Stormers 1-2 lost to. Says Arend Rasmus. They have indeed. They are sitting 9th on the table at the moment. They did win their away game though to the Lions. Just that one home game like I mentioned that they were able to win. And grand final replay amongst the Stormers. Says Blues. Nate nicely taken. Peter O'Mahony now. They've asked for the penalty, but I think there was a delay in the way that Munster put their man down, and that is why, it's going to be a yellow card though. So a mistake here from the Stormers. Up we get Willie Engelbrecht is not happy one bit. I'm not actually sure who it's going to be that goes to the bin now. Yes, the Stormers went slightly early, but we've also got to remember, like, the Munster player, I believe, was put down extremely early or extremely late. They delayed it quite a bit, and it's actually worked perfectly. Johan Nelling-Fouché is now going to be sin-binned. 10 minutes off the field. And we have got there our Munster Monsters to take this home. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of both sides' fault, but the Stormers can still not engage as early as they did. So the yellow card is now in play. Stormers playing with 14. And this is the time for Munster to once again try and apply that pressure. Idea these cards should be left out or left at the casinos. So here's Blues Nate. Now Scott Buckley. Another line out throw. Goes to the front. Taken by Gavin Coombs. Buckley looping around the back and now hanging on to this ball. Looking for the rolling ball. Evan Ruiz trying to get in there almost. He's got to be careful there with his elbow. Almost ended up getting right into the face of Gavin Coombs. 5 metres out from the line. It is Alex Nankerville. The ball's available for Craig Casey to go off to this right-hand side. If the discipline does not improve for the Stormers, they could end up with another yellow card very soon. Now passing back across to the right. Jeremy Luckman, Joseph Dweber though on the ball. Nice and early. Does he get it? No. Loses the footing. Hodding it. Trying to go with the step. Tackled by Ruben van Heeren. And yellow for what, says DJ. So it was for pre-engaging in the line out after 3 penalties 5 metres out from their line at rolling maul time. So that's what they ended up giving Johan Nelling-Fouché the yellow card for. And now only 5 metres between Munster and the try line. 39 minutes through this game. We are still sitting 3-0. Now 2 Stormers players trying to jump in. It was Engelbrecht as well as Ruiz. Now to the right. Hodding it stays low. Odogbo cracks round the side of the breakdown and he will score the try. The first of the game, and Munster now have got themselves a little bit of a lead. Oh! Okay, Joseph Dweber caressing the face of John Ryan. That was, I'm not sure what happened between those two. Dogbo gets over the try line half-time, says Badraig. And also we have got there, I've missed all the action in between. Sharks lost again, says Riviere. Currently sitting 0 from 5 for the URC season. Good news is, though, with the URC, you've got plenty of time. All you got to be is in that top 8 and you've got a chance of making your way through. Yes, home finals are massive in terms of the advantage that you get. And third infringement, says Mimania. And there as well. And a Dogbo managing to score the try, the big number 4. It's a good time to score for Munster as well. Right on the half-time. And also alongside that, while they have got a man advantage, so they want to make the most of it in the second half to keep that pressure applied. Now Crowley to line up this kick. Close out the half with either an 8-point lead or the 10. The kick is good. And that will now at halftime make the score 10 points to 0 in the URC. Other game that has taken place, it is Dragons versus Ospreys. We saw that there was a red card for the Ospreys. The score currently 34 minutes into that contest is sitting 6 points to 5. So they've had a lot more stoppages in that game than we have had in this contest, which is very good news. But anyone who is new to the channel, I should mention, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these random hour of the night live streams. We've got plenty more coming in the near future, including the Sevens, which is just around the corner from taking place. The Dubai Sevens, that is. We'll go like this. And we will go like that. There we go. Half-time at the moment. Why refs give so much cards, says Guradis. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Yeah, there's been a lot of cards throughout the last 12 months or so of rugby. They're really... It depends on the ref, though, doesn't it? Because some refs seem quite lenient and others are just very quick to say, yep, we'll give you a card for this, for that. Stormers' discipline at times has let them down throughout the season. They have received a lot of cards in the process because of that, but yeah, just very unlikely that we get a game of 80 minutes without a card at the moment. And morning, afternoon, and evening to all, says Peter Wild. And I think Ian Foster is still brilliant after having to go through all that and getting to a final. and then having that so close. Congratulations to Ian Foster. It is going from bad to worse for the South African team, says Morning the Grange. Although, to be honest, like the big question mark is going to be when they return. The big South African Springbok internationals, that is. Because if the South African sides at around that time have got themselves a few home games as well, I think that's when they're going to find their momentum for the season. And whoever does the best throughout that stage will actually be the sides that make their way to the quarterfinals. And afternoon, says Yvonne, welcome in. And they never give so much cards, so they're trying to spike players, says Gurudis. And also we have got there, Wayne Barnes needs to go and disco dance in stilettos, says Aroof. And also evening, says Miminia to Peter Wild as well. I hope you guys are all doing very well. Now, Peter, if I am correct, I think I've got the right Peter. You were the one talking about Colorado, weren't you? Maybe. Is that correct? Half-time in this contest. Stormers sitting 10-0 down currently on their $13 underdogs. Now, that's not great in terms of their chances here, but if they score early in the second half, maybe it could help them. And we have got there, I'm forced to change alliance from the Bulls to the Cheetahs. Says Peter Wild, in 4 years, I will be a captain in Australia and sent to a semi-final for the first time ever. Says Pedrake, and also Munster chugging away nicely. I don't think it's the guy's discipline. I think years back, they never gave cards. Then they complained then they give too much cards. And my mum says you're a nice Kiwi and intelligent and handsome. Says, cool story, bro. Well, thank you very much to your mum. Greatly appreciated. Inflated the laws don't get carded. And yes, Samish, that's me, says Peter Wild. So yeah, I am curious about this opportunity, Peter. Because you were going to send an email at some stage, weren't you, telling me a bit more information, just so that I can work out what it is exactly that's involved. Is it all going well for you in terms of trying to get it all set up? Cool story, bro, says Miminia. Miminia. Say that quite quick. It sounds like you're not actually saying, like, letters. You're just kind of... my question is, how have players not learned to tackle low and stop giving away penalties for the same infringements 5 metres out? Cards have been part of the game for some time now, and players same. Says Kerr. Is it a good match, bro? I'll be honest, if you like high-scoring games, this one probably hasn't quite tickled your fancy, but... like, in terms of a close finish, I think that we have got potential of that if the Stormers are able to stop Munster from being able to score a few more tries in that second half. Greg Kerr, says Yvonne there. But yeah, there's potential for this to be a little bit of a last-minute thriller. I'm not sure what Joseph Dwebber was doing after the try of a Dogbo was scored. He was kind of like, he was trying to shepherd John Ryan away from his team. We might see it here again in the replay. Like, what does he actually do? Because it was very confusing. So he got up. Yeah. He was giving him a slap on the back. He got pushed. Oh no, I think Joseph Dwebber was trying to say, if I have my hands up like this, you can't get round me. But other teams are getting away with it. It is sickening, says Foldy. And also, let's go Munster, says Connor Crowley. At the moment, Munster, if they win this game, they would move up to third, I believe, on the overall table. In the Stormers' case, they would have been blown for taking the Moles' feet out. Says Miminia, and also Hamish, if they score many tries, or if they score many tries when the Stormers are struggling. Says Pedro, yeah, I think this next 7 minutes or so is going to be extremely important. Yep, thought you may be. Yep, it's coming, same as Xmas. We'll email next month is busy travelling then Ireland, then to hit Colorado. Geez, you're busy. I can understand why you haven't been able to set it. So yeah, take your time. It is no worries. The Connacht win. They did by 1 point. 13 points to 12 over the Sharks. So as the table currently sits, ladies and gents, we will go like this and like that and like that. There we go. That is the way that we find ourselves currently sitting in terms of the URC table. Now, there are more teams down below. The Sharks are at the bottom of the bunch in 16th. The Lions, they are sitting at, I believe it is 13th at the moment on 9 points. So they aren't a huge amount behind some of these other sides, but these two sides, they're playing off for a spot pretty much up here. They will overtake the Bulls, whoever wins this game, depending on the margin, although they might, if the Stormers win this game, that is, go up to about here, depending on if they get themselves the bonus point. That they have not been able to score a try as of yet, so that has been hurting them a little bit. We've only really seen one attacking play from the Stormers, and that was Lillian Zuss. Other than that, we have not seen any real attack mounting for them, and it's a bit of a shame, you know. I feel like they should have a decent chance of being able to get something slightly moving forward. But of course, we will have to wait and see. Well, we will go like this. We will go like that as well. Here we go. And like that. Here we go. Oh, there we go. And they should be penalised for it. It's illegal. Appointers players should have changed to play within the law changes, and they haven't. That is the reason for the number of cards. And just checking if you can say Connacht, says Yvonne. And also we have got there the Stormers will come back second half. Discipline counts, says Leon. And was dead quiet by the stadium here. Pretty sure Sharks lost, says Cool Story Bro. And the weather looks pretty bad at the moment. There's no fluency in the game, says Monet Lagrange. Yeah, unfortunately, the dry spell of the game was throughout those early stages. Neither side really able to make the most of that chance. And then now, when we get to the second half, I think that the rain's slightly lighter than it was throughout that middle stage. You might need to work on it, says Yvonne. And also we have got there the yellow cards, 2 lifters. I went in front of the jumper, says Foldy. I mean, I mentioned about it as well. It did seem like for that line out in particular, they were a bit slower putting Peter O'Mahony down, which then I said about it at the time. I said both sides weren't really in the right, but unfortunately it is still one of those scenarios that you can't give the referee any chance of penalising you. And unfortunately that's what Johan Nelian Foucher did, because he did go in as early as he did at Munster. I like beers, says Pedreg. And also we have got there, it was not for the Sharks, says Mimini. And also come on the Stormers, you can win please for your supporters, says Etinet. And there as well. But I believe the second half is not too far away from getting back underway. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 points to nil. The Stormers coming in as massive underdogs at the moment on the table. We do know that Ulster are sitting number 1. They want to stay there at the end of this round. I believe the only side that can overtake them is actually Munster if they win this game with a bonus point. Although, of course, later on, they've got the chance of Glasgow overtaking them. They've got the chance of Leinster overtaking them. But currently, in terms of the games taking place now, Munster are the only side that can really jump forward. I just in from work. What was the first half like? It was quite low scoring overall, but Munster territory-wise and possession-wise were probably in favour quite a bit. We saw one good run from the Stormers of Lillian Zuss, but other than that, we really didn't see that Stormers attack that you would expect from a backline as strong as this. I don't think we've seen Jean-Luc Duplessis for about 20 minutes. And mate, who's playing 10, 12, and 13. So it is Jean-Luc Duplessis at 10, Sasha Ngume Zulu at number 12, and then number 13 is Ruan Now, a Mongolian goat milk. Says Bad Reagan. Also, we've got there Portugal 14-0 in favour of the Georgians at half-time. And wet and windy night in Limerick, says Jimbo there as well. But they are having a bit of a light show at the moment, playing a bit of the Cranberries by the sounds of it. Also a bit of an anthem for Ireland throughout their Rugby World Cup campaign. Now, that's the thing. 7 minutes with a man advantage. How much impact can Munster create in that time? How's 12 playing? I'll be honest, Sasha Ngume Zulu, he struggles in the big games. And I know that sounds harsh because the whole Stormers side has struggled at the moment in the big games. But it does just seem like at the moment, because he has got that little bit of a lack of experience, he hasn't quite been able to step up in those big matches when it matters. Like if he has a phenomenal second half here, like that would be massive for his confidence and also massive for, in terms of selectors in the future to know, okay, even when the team is against the wall, he's got a decent chance of going well. Two sides have made their way back out of the tunnels ready for the second 40 minutes. Maybe the most important second 40 minutes of the URC for these two sides in quite some time, because you do not want to be giving away points up against these two teams. South Africa teams at a disadvantage on tour in winter will bounce back at home. Says Jimbo, and you can say that again. Got socked horrible rain, wind, and Tipperary. Miss Summer, and I've heard Ireland wants revenge on South Africa. I've said what revenge the South Africans want revenge on Ireland. Says Mono Lagrange, and backline of Stormers kicked the ball too quick before contact. Says Faldi, yeah, we haven't really seen, like I mentioned, no real running game from Ngume Zulu. Ruan Nel, we haven't seen. Ben Loader was one of the best 13s in the competition about maybe 2 weeks ago. And then since then, they've decided to stop giving him the ball. So, it's always going to be hard when your most attacking ball runner is out of the game and you don't get to see him. Currently, the Munster side, 5 meters out from their own line. Craig Casey rolling this ball back for the box kick, but good deep kickoff by the Stormers to get us underway for the second half. They have got the man disadvantage for a little bit of time. That one has not found touch. Here comes Watercalant. Goes off to Emma Ruiz, who has had another good driving run up to the 22-metre line. It looks already like the Stormers have found their second gear for this half. Here comes their back line. Ngume Zulu grubber kick. In behind. It is going to roll into touch. Was it the right choice? Probably not. But the line out, if they can win it, it would put the opposition under pressure. And like I said, only Lillian Zus, with the exception of a couple of the forwards, have been pushing at the line. Have you tried Gumbo? It is from the USA. I have not, no. URC will be playing 35 degrees one week and then -3 the other. Crazy. Says Chronic and Stormers, no excuse. That's typical Cape Town winter weather. Says Mimania. And there as well. And probably not as windy as Cape Town. Says Cool Story Bro. Looks like Evan Ruiz had a bit of an injury. But the most important part here for the Stormers is to just build some phases. I don't think we've seen them build 5 phases. In fact, I don't even know if we've seen them build 3 phases. They've stolen the line out. Here we go. This is a chance for the Stormers. Now, Evan Ruiz taken down nicely. Paul Davet going off to the right-hand side. Big run forward from Smith. Now Davet gets it up there to Sitoli. And they get their points. Lot of pressure there on the Stormers in the breakdown. Davet thought about Ruiz, and he does manage to find him now. 5 meters still. But this is the best face play that we have seen from the Stormers throughout this game. Now Davet goes off to Ruben van Heeren, who has knocked the ball on. I jinxed it. Give it a rest. The Irish teams don't do revenge. We're the only team to hammer South Africa. Says Dennis, and Cool Story Bro. Oh, yes, cool, bro. Says Mimania, and also we have got there still burning up his commentary, king of smooth commentators. Says Roof, that they almost had, I think that was 5 phases with that pass, which I guess is progress. And Munster looking better in that winter weather. Says Roof, looks like now Brock Harris has to make his way onto the field. That is due to that yellow card. And Hammer is exaggerated. Says Mimania. Now Willie Engelbrecht, the man who has to sit off while Brock Harris takes his spot. They want good balance here. Currently sitting 2.5 minutes into the second half. So still going to be down a man for about the next, I believe it will be the next 5 minutes? 5 minutes, somewhere around there. Hamish, what is your favourite food meal? Says Padraig. Oh. That's a good question. You know when you like food, but you don't know what food you like the most? Like, a good pizza goes a long way. But then, like, even just a well-cooked chicken breast, sometimes it's just, that hits the spot. That's a good clearing kick from Munster. Now going to be about 25 metres out from their line. Crowley was deep inside of his area, and Spaghetti, a la Kiwi lads, rocking it. Says Ruth. Now, another line-out chance. Joseph Dweber gets the call from Paul Davet. Can he get this one right? He's sitting about 50% at the moment today. That one is nice from the Stormers. Now looking for the rolling maul. They start to get that little bit closer for. We've got a new member on the channel. It is Jimbo as well. So thank you very much, mate, for hitting that membership button once more. Of course, you have gifted a lot of memberships throughout your time, so it is great to see that you have still got your badge there as well. Now, Paul De Vet off to Evan Ruiz again. Now, De Vet, short ball to Dweba. Two men who were very close to that Springbok squad, both narrowly missing out. Again, it will be Evan Ruiz. At the moment, it's just a two-man street with the men running at the Stormers' defence. Smith now tackled. He came on the field very early for the injury of Gary Porter. Stormers still on attack here. We've got a gifted membership from Robert there as well. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. And also George Jimbo, hello, welcome everyone. Ruben van Heeren, nice fend from him, still driving forward. 10 metres out the line now for the Stormers. And what could be their best attacking opportunity? It is an advantage in favour of the Stormers. That is for offside. There is 4 minutes remaining of this yellow card. Perhaps this is a good time to go for those 3 points for the Stormers, just to give them something on the board. Reap the rewards of being down this end. They could take the risk, go for the corner, but no, they will go for the 3. This is the right decision from the Stormers here. And just like that, they actually go down to $8 underdogs now. Fun fact. Nice bit of well done cod with chips, veggie, and brown sauce. Now I'm hungry again, says Dennis. And hello again, says Jimbo. Yeah, I'll be honest, I feel like I will eat a lot of food tomorrow. Today I'll sleep because I haven't slept much. But after that, when I wake up, I plan on eating a bunch. And mate, why do I feel like we're in for a big hiding? Says Chronic. That's with the Australian flag there as well. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone up against India, though, has had moments where they've struggled. I'll be honest, I think that Australia had a much better chance of being close in the final than South Africa would have. And I know that that sounds harsh, like I said, but I just feel like Australia have been knocked over on low runs less throughout this Cricket World Cup. So yeah, I think that that will be the better final. And hopefully it's close. We'll have to see. I want to stay up and watch that, of course, but it does start at 9:30 p.m. New Zealand time and finish at like 6 a.m. It's not very often you can say you watched a Cricket World Cup final, so I think we will. What about a grilled pork sausage and mustard hot dog? Says Ruth. Now back to Duplessis at number 10. Straight down to Crowley, who is inside of his 22, so is able to kick this one towards the touchline, but has not been able to do so. Wadakalant takes that ball still in the field of play, but the score now 10 points to 3 due to the Stormers being able to get that penalty. Kicked him behind from Wadakalant again. I don't know why the Stormers are obsessed with this kicking game, as it hasn't really helped them throughout this contest. And Irish are ruthless. Says, it was there from Roof. That will be a penalty. Sasha Ngomezula diving in off his feet. Really bad decision making. And they've given away another penalty. Yeah, that's a pretty cheap shot from Sasha Ngomezulu. He wasn't going to get the ball. Wasn't going to make any change to the breakdown. He just saw a guy exposed on the ground and said, yeah, I'll have a go at him. It's going to be kicked into touch now by Munster down to the halfway line. And that relieves the pressure because they did kick it in behind for the sake of trying to keep Munster deep inside of their area, and then to give away a penalty just allows them to boot it downfield and get out of that area. And we got time off. Couple changes by the sounds of it. Sleepy start to the second half by Munster, says Jimbo. But yeah, at the moment, the Stormers are keeping them in the game with the way that they're playing, with their ill discipline. It's going to be Wickerley now, making his way onto the field, as well as Stephen Archer, the two men making their way out there. Halfway line now, line out works for Munster. Another penalty. Entry through the side of the line out. Stormers penalised once more. There's a lot of Germans and Norwegians in Cape Town at the moment. And Munster line up very, I don't know what animal, very tiger. Is that a tiger? It's a very small picture. Very tiger this game. I don't think that's it. We have got there from South Africa. First time listening to you. Love it. Says, Jan, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciated you being here. We do a lot of the URC on the channel. Also international rugby, the Six Nations, Super Rugby, the Sevens. All of those competitions. So if you are new, yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Munster now with another opportunity from just inside of the Stormers 22, who are back to 15 now, with Johan Nedeling Fouché making his way back out onto the field, almost stolen by Ruben van Heeren. And line out time, breaking off the back now. Good chance for Buckley. Casey going quick hands. Gavin Coombs gets it away to the replacement, Jack O'Donoghue. Numbers on the left-hand side, but Tyburn carries and almost gives away the penalty and the breakdown. Now Crowley decides to back himself. Is smashed by Willie Engelbrecht. 3 metres out here for Munster. Casey goes across again. Wickerley gets his first carry of the match. Jack O'Donoghue, looks like Byrne might be injured here. That is something that Munster definitely do not want to see. Looks like something to do with one of his legs here. We'll keep an eye on him in back play. Now around the side of Dogbo, the man who did score the first try of the contest, first and only at this point. Stephen Archer around the side does make an extra metre or two. Now Gavin Coombs tries to back his size, but gets nailed by Evan Ruiz, Johan Nedeling Fouché, and Ruben van Heeren, all next to the breakdown. Great bit of body position there from the Stormers. They win the penalty. Willie Engelbrecht is the man who gets the job done. It'll be interesting next year, come 2024 quarterfinals. Dubai around the corner, says Chronic. And still early stages of these two champs, or for these two champs, season still fresh. Says Blues not exactly right, but getting over that ball brilliantly was Willie Engelbrecht to win the penalty. Probably 2 metres out from their own line. That is probably about as crucial as it gets. I should mention the Ospreys in their game of the URC. They were in the lead. They gave away that red card, and now they find themselves down by 8 in the other matchup that is taking place. Nozzle there, George, hey Nate. Are you going great over there? And monster turnover, says Miminia. Yeah, absolutely crucial turnover there for the Stormers. Is Tyburn going to be all right? And Jan, best platform to get coverage and meet some rugby fans. Says Arthur, yeah, we got people from all around the world who do tune in, whether that's from South Africa, England, France, Ireland, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia. Someone told me today that the Stormers were a great team. I thought I've seen them lads play really poor. Says Dennis, I mean, they did make it through to the URC final. They actually went undefeated throughout the URC season, I believe, up until the finals? Or I think they were undefeated at home up until the finals or something along those lines. Was the stat? It's 10-3 with 14 men. Now they're back to 15. They have been for the last about maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Amish watch for a young Munster player, Brian Gleeson. Still under 20, but definitely a future Ireland back row, says Jimbo. And they are spoiled for choice in the back row, the Irish, for the future. Nicely claimed there by Ruben van Heeren. Joseph de Weber charges at his opposite number there, Scott Buckley. 40 metres out from their own line. Paul de Vet thought about the pass back into the pocket. There was no one there, so he had to go himself. Nicely claimed there by the youngster and Shay McCarthy. A big shot put into him. 22 metres out from their own line. They will go for the box kick. In fact, no. Craig Casey says we want a couple more phases, please. And now looks like he will go for that kick. Casey rolls it back. Now puts it up high. Good chase coming in here. The ball not quite going as far as they wanted it to. It does go into touch. And it will now be a Stormers line out. And Stormers are a bit of a damp squib at the moment, says Ruth. Oh, looks like they're going to be calling for the scrum due to that knock on. See de Weber charging forward at his opposite number, Buckley, sending him backwards, sitting him down. Just the knock on there from, I think it was O'Donoghue. Referee once again asking for good balance and patience at scrum time. Only 28 minutes remaining in this contest. Stormers look lose a lot of top players yearly and is replaced with amazing youth players, says Laban. And also nice and quiet chilling over here, Roof. But all is goods. Is it a good game? I haven't watched a rugby game since the Rugby World Cup. because I can't stand the state of the game at the moment, says Ian Foster. It's been a close game. I wouldn't say it's been game of the season or even game of the round, but it's been like a gritty kind of like rainy conditioned game as well, so that always makes it tricky to have free-flowing rugby. And Stormers been some of the best players, or missing some to the best players in the world, says Jimbo. Big scrum there from the Stormers, though they get the penalty advantage. And this one would almost be a kickable 3 as well. And how long is Lubbock on holiday? I think I saw that it's actually till after Christmas, till the Springbok players return to South African side. So they've still got about 3 more games, I believe, till they get their players back. And then after that, it's all on for young and old. Not driving straight was actually the scrum penalty. And Dan Squib is firecracking the Munster scrum. Yeah, it's looked very impressive for the Stormers at scrum time here. It's a very good kick downfield from the Stormers now. The chance that they needed. Hamish, you have replaced our fireplace. Says, cool story, bro. Have I? Me personally. Are you sure? After Christmas, says Jimbo, and also we're going to there now. Come on, Fozzie. The Kiwis pump the Kangaroos 30-0. And lol. And anyone want burnt chops / chips? Goddamn sport. Says Dennis, so that is nicely claimed by Jack O'Donoghue. So the ball has been stolen by Munster. The knees are down. They do not have to release them, and it will be a Stormers 5-metre scrum now. That is almost a better result than the line-out drive, because their scrum not only will get them a penalty advantage if they do it well, but they will also more than likely get the try from it alongside. We go there. Hello, Ian Foster. Congrats on your achievement. You're pretty awesome. And also, we go there. Love watching some tough Indian men slap the heck out of each other in subject change. Who will win Dakar this year? I think that Isaac's definitely more of the racing aficionado of the Kiwi lads. He was recently down, but he has gone back now. But yeah, I probably couldn't even name you one fellow in it, unfortunately. And the Yuletime log, a good one, says Robert. And this is the momentum shift in the game. Big scrum again. They've got the penalty advantage. Ivan Ruiz, he's over the line. He's going to be held up. They had the penalty advantage anyway. And I would think that this almost last warning for Munster at scrum time. And thanks, mate. Got to split and beat up. Beat up the grandkid, says Tar. We'll do it lightly. We have got there Hamish, says Pedrag, and also Hamish, is the league growing more among youth in New Zealand, says 123MS. I mean, there is arguments for a second NRL team, but still don't know if they'll get there at the moment, to be honest. I feel like there's still not quite enough interest in the league. Yes, it's getting bigger, I believe, but yeah, the numbers in terms of rugby union and rugby league, I think, have gone down a little bit more recently. That's okay, Hamish. We know not to back your predictions anyway. That is very true. Whoever I said, you definitely know they're not winning. And good evening, Hamish. Have you been well, says Natasha Barrett? I have indeed. Hope you are well also. Enjoying the URC and whatever other... I guess that's the thing. It's currently a very busy time of the year for sport, isn't it? So whatever sport you guys like watching, hope you have been enjoying it a lot. Stormers tight head is the difference between them now. Fired up, says Jimbo. And also we have got there... thanks, Ian. No worries. Back to normal. All Blacks still mighty, says Ruth. But 24 minutes remaining in this contest now, and still the Stormers are on hot attack. And let's go Stormers, says Ruben. 5 meters out from the try line. This is honestly, this is make or break. There's still time if it doesn't go well, but this is the important stage to get it right. Big scrum feed from the Stormers, although they have not got the penalty advantage this time. Casey has to stay on side. He has not done so. Cross kick attempted, and it slapped into touch there by Munster. They'll go back for another penalty. He must be getting on these days, says Ian Foster, and the Poo Tiki Tiki Bird officially leapfrogged the Kiwi, says Blues Nate. A draw will also do, says Ruben. So still 5 metres out from the line. The Stormers just can't quite get through, but they also can't quite not get through. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does. But I think that they're going quite good. At the moment, looking at the score, it at least looks like the Stormers' defence and discipline has improved. So he's not your everyday cultures. And I'll be honest, I think the Stormers are probably about one penalty away in terms of Munster giving away penalties from them getting that yellow card on that side, just like we saw in the first half. And now scrum feed again for the Stormers here. Munster should have got yellow carded at this point, says Ruben. Like the commentators were saying, it was 3 down the other end, and then the Stormers ended up with the yellow card. This stage, Munster giving away 3 penalties back-to-back, not having the yellow card yet. I believe they would have had the last warning, I would like to think. And yellow coming, says Jimbo. And also Antoine Dupont to 7s. Oh, we got a scrum reset. It's all using up a little bit more time on the clock as well. So we are currently around 200 days, ladies and gentlemen, from the finals that do take place for the URC, at least the quarterfinals. 200 days. That sounds like a long time, but it's probably not. That sentence should have had more oomph to it. I kind of just stopped talking halfway through. But 2nd of June is the last round of the URC. Then I believe it is the 9th of June, or roughly around there, maybe actually the 8th of June, that we see eating only healthy food can make you quite fat, I've learned. Says, a cool story, bro. The key is moderation in terms of how much of that healthy food you are eating. Now, Paul de Vet held strong once more. Craig Casey trying to cause a nuisance of himself. Just out from the line. Paul de Vet goes off to Evan Royce, who spins. He's down, and that's got to be close. He's held up again, though. Brilliant defence from Munster. And I was out of the stream for a while. Looks like I'm a member now. Who was the kind enough to gift. Right, so it was either Robert, Kerr, or it would have been Jimbo. Those are our 3 gifters at the moment. 200 days is actually close to 200 days. You're spot on, really. True. And Hamish, you look a bit like James Lowe. I looked a lot more like him when I had long hair. But now that my hair's short, I feel like I've lost a little bit of my James Lowe look. But yeah, when I had long hair, that was the one that I got compared to the most in the rugby world. And Hamish says, Bupa, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Which is, drop kick attempt from Ngumezulu, rushing it there. It's going away to the side. Missed. And now it is going to be a 22 dropout. Now you look like a young Sonny Bill or Richard Kahui, says Ian Foster. And after all that and get noting, well done Munster, says Dennis. You're not quite getting it right. Sasha Ngumezulu there. Alistair Vermaak to make his way onto the field. That is for Sitoli. I think there was another change being made at the same time. It'll be winter already. How long is the season, says Chronic? Yeah, it's a very long one. About 250 days the season goes for. And Hamish is fantastic, fabulous commentary. Please hit that like button. People, please, Kiwi lads rock. We need to score now. Says not your everyday cultist. And day at 1,478 as world champion, says Bupa. And Munster playing their best team, says Bupa. They've got a relatively strong team. They're still missing a few of their keys along the way, but they have got more internationals in their side than the Stormers do. Now 22, in fact a little bit more than that, about 40 metres out from the line. It's going to be kicked high by Crowley, looking to get this one in behind. Nicely taken by Watercalant. Now looks to step on the halfway line, finds his offload up for Johan Nilling for share. Hamish looks like Jason Momoa when he was younger. Says Roof, and who are the standout players thus far? I think for the Stormers, Evan Ruiz has probably been the most busy player that we've seen out there on the field. For Munster, I would probably sway in favour of Jack Crowley. And then alongside him, probably Edwin Odogbo. I'd say also should get a bit of a shout. I think other than that, we haven't really seen a huge amount. Now kicked behind from the Stormers. Oh, is that a 50-22? No, it was taken back. And Kiwi there looks like this guy's name is Hamish. Says the Blues name. Oh, Evan Ruiz might have a bit of cramp here. Herschel Yankee's trying to stretch it out for him. And also Aquaman Boom. Says a Ruth there as well. And we need to score now, said not everyday cultist. Yeah. The try needs to be just around the corner. The Stormers are back to being $12 underdogs here. In fact, $11, my apologies. but they've looked like the better side in the second half. So I just wonder, is it just around the corner for the Stormers to get it right? And also, goodness, Stormers actually have points on the board, says Ruth. Right, the timer's back on. Line out throw here for Scott Buckley. Which looks like made it home, Charles Olivon, says Bupa. I mean, I'll take it. I feel like that's still a compliment, isn't it? He looks like Stephen Kitsoff, not as tall, handsome, or as slim as him, says Cool Story Bro. And also, my hair's a different colour than Stephen Kitsoff, of course. If South Africa teams do pick up, then they'll have all play in the Challengers Cup, says 123MS. And also, we have got there about the Stormers being on the board, and they just need to be on the board just that little bit more. We have got there, we need to see live games. It's not good enough to watch. We can't follow players. It's like listening to Good Hope or RSG radio broadcast, says Logan Roberts. Well, there's a few different ways that you can watch the URC. Most are paid subscription based, unfortunately, so it does make it very tricky for anyone who is on a tight budget, or geographically sometimes it's a bit more of a struggle, but there are VPNs to get around that. But yeah, the highlights are up on YouTube straight after the games do take place, which is always a plus for the URC. But the Stormers on the halfway line with their line-out throw, looking for Ruben van Heeren again, and they have been able to find him now off to the right-hand side, slinging pass off to Ruan now. It's been shut down nice and early by Jack Crowley, who has had a very busy game. And number 10, Sasha Ngume Zulu, shifting it off to the left-hand side, selling a dummy there. It's lost again, and the breakdown from Lilian Zas. The ball is stripped. Vermaak manages to take it back, though. In fact, Munster have walked away with it. We have got there, Mum, can we have James Lowe or Charles Olivon? Mum, we have James Lowe today, Charles Olivon at home. So he's not everyday cultist. And also Feinberg. Sasha Feinberg will be a centre link, or will be on centre link if he doesn't improve before the big boys come back. We need unfair share of free to view URC and Ireland, or we get unfair share of view. So, I feel like there should be more places that have got the URC for free, because that is something that will help grow the competition as a whole. Alongside, anyways, I was watching Aussies beat Proteas at the cricket, and so since we're kind of talking about handsome rugby players, rate your top three, Amish. I honestly couldn't tell you. Haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Now, Slinger Bart's gone through the Stormers' hands. Ben Loader, that's almost his first touch on the ball throughout this game. Herschel Yankees has to rush the pass, gets it across to Alistair Vermaak. Would you commentate on the Champions Cup? South African sides end up there. We are going to be doing the Champions Cup this year. And yeah, there are a few South African sides in there. Munster with the counter-attack due to the loss of the ball for the Stormers. Another knock-on. It's been a scrappy game. Well, good there, Hamish. I saw Graham and RG Sneyman. I have a picture of me and the manager and RG Sneyman in Limerick. Says Padraig, and on Christmas Eve, record a live your fireplace. Be the Yule time log. It's popular here. Says Robert. And also we have got there Hamish making sure it's known that he isn't a ginger when compared to a bot prop. And Stormers, the time is now, says Ruben. Yeah, if there's ever a time to get it right, it is within the next kind of 5 minutes or so. Get that try back and then really put Munster under pressure for those final 10 minutes. They made another change here. It's going to be Clayton Blommetjies onto the field for Jean-Luc Duplessis. A good change to make. We haven't really seen enough of Duplessis throughout this game. Beef for Christmas, says Padraig. And also nice avocado be the music of love play on, says Ruth there. And basic skills in South African team this season, it's like mixing oil and water, says Bupa. Now Herschel Yankees. Another scrum reset. And my top three is Franz Malherbe, Yui Antonio, and Joe Marler. I think you have a thing for props, not your everyday cultist, by the sounds of it. And go now, says Julian. And also is the game in Cape Town. It is not. It is Thorntman Park. This one is being played from. And yeah, neither side, I would say Munster, I wouldn't say they've used the home advantage that well in this game, but when it's this rainy and this kind of wet, it makes it very tricky to get that momentum flowing. Oh, the ball's come out the same channel. So that will be a scrum reset. The ball came out of the tunnel, the crowd booing, but if they knew the rule, then they'd realise that that is just another reset due to that ball coming straight out that same side. We have got their roast leg of lamb with cranberry sauce. And come on, boys, we need at least a losing bonus point. But really, Munster have looked pretty average. We really can win this one. Yeah, all they need is that one try. That is what would be the game changer. Munster, once again, the chant going around the crowd. And a howdy, hey, y'all. Hope you're well, go Munster. Says Scrum Last there. Hope you are doing well too. Big push from the Stormers at scrum time. They have got themselves the penalty advantage. Herschel Yankees going across to the right-hand side. Chip across field. It's risky, and it was almost the chance again for Munster to take that one with Shea McCarthy out wide. They'll go back for another penalty at scrum time. That is about the maybe 5th warning we've seen from Munster at scrum time currently. Stormers, we need to get some points on the scoreboard. Says Logan Roberts in there as well. Stormers, they are considered $18 underdogs at the moment. Peter O'Mahony has been taken from the field now. Where is Munster's yellow card? Says Ruben. And also, let's go the Stormies. Aume Zulu misses touch. And not just that, he kicks the ball dead as well. So getting it wrong for the about 5th time today. Aume Zulu, in terms of his mistakes that have added up. And now that was the chance for the Stormers to be able to capitalise on their momentum, and they've just blown it once again. We have got there, definitely rub avocado all over your face and try and lick it off. It's pretty difficult. Well, I guess I've never thought about it, but you might be right there. I guess you could get this part easy enough around the mouth, but other than that, it would be a tricky day at the office. A yellow against the pack needed. This is ridiculous. Having said that, Storm keep buggering up the chances. Says Peter Wild and OMFG. Y'all look at all these, or at this moose emoji. How did I miss this? Says Scrumless. And South African players still after celebrating the World Cup, says Adam. And your commentary is so good. Thank you, says Logan Rhodes. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Now Connor Murray with the ball in hand. Chance again now. Connor Murray puts the ball into the scrum and they will go to the left-hand side. If Munster score now, I would argue the game is all but over. But if there is a turnover for the Stormers and they can not blow their opportunity, we could be going down to the wire here. Hey, I hope the Stormers can pull through with a victory. And cauliflower and cheese sauce with roasted garlic. That sounds really, really good. I'm not even going to read the rest of it because I know that I'll get hungry. Calvin Nash, 30 metres out the line for Munster. Connor Murray has to dive onto that ball. He's fallen the wrong way. And the Stormers have got themselves the ball right. If there's ever a time to get it right, I've said it multiple times throughout this live stream, but if there is ever a time, it is now. They need to make sure that they keep this ball in hand. They're going to kick it away. They must have terrible behavioural problems, too many penalties. Says Chronic, and also we've got their chair scrum last. Hope all is good, Big Gloves. And the Moose. Says Blues Nate. Good kick downfield from Herschel Yankees. And Stormers have to be more focused. Yeah, it's just the little things, isn't it, at the moment? That has been hurting them throughout this game. Munster tiring, says Jimbo, but with 10 minutes remaining, they'll have to dig deep, but they might still have just enough left in the gas tank, which is why the Stormers, I've just realised, they were left tryless in their game up against Glasgow. They did score in their game last week up against Benetton, but I'm sure the last thing they want is to be tryless here up against Munster, although a lot of sides are when they play these Munster men. Speaking of the Munster side, I believe the turnover was good from the Stormers, but taken straight back by Munster as soon as that ball hit the ground. We have got there 0 with water and wine glass with water in it. And also Spears seat at the table, not looking forward to next year's, or the next few years in the USA, as Lamb's hard to find. Says Peter Wild there, and the Stormers have only drizzled so far. Says Stefan, the ball still there for Munster. Good bit of pressure being put on there from Evan Roos. How bad is the weather at Thornton Park? I'll be honest, it was raining earlier on for about 10 minutes and it was real heavy. Other than that, though, it's been pretty timid, I guess you'd say, for an Irish night. But, yeah, it just seems like neither side taking their chance. Crowley goes for the kick in behind. Great kick. Although I believe the Stormers have just been able to get that ball in the field of play. Now Blumekes fires it across. Counter attack. Oh, what a Calanta's lost his footing. Goes back to Blumekes and says, good luck. You've got 5 defenders on you. But they have kept that ball. This is a classic old school Munster game. Just basic stuff over and over. Says Paul K. And also Stroll as the time runs out. Munster have gifted us with so many chances. We are refusing to take them. We don't want to win. Says no everyday cultures. And now once again it will be Herschel Yankees who gets this ball up high and deep into the touchline. Now Stormers, they were able to get the turnover last game. Oh, I think he might have been in touch there for Angelo Davids, or it was very close anyway, but they did play on, raining with the wind. Says Jimbo there. And the Stormers are now now need to find a try. Says Logan Roberts. Thrown in. I think there was a knock-on from the Stormers. Yes, it was. They were able to get that ball, but because of the knock-on, we go to a scrum again. Up to 73 minutes gone in this game for anyone wondering about the other match that has taken place. They are currently 66 minutes through. The Dragons leading the Ospreys 13 points to 5. Ospreys with a red card. And also alongside that, they did have a lead before that red. Seems like it's gone downhill since then. Stormers did score a try against Glasgow. They lost 20 points to 8, says Johan. I thought they lost 20 points to 9 in the end. Yeah, 20 points to 9 in their game up against Glasgow 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. But yeah, in their game up against Benetton, they were able to score. I'll just have a quick check to make sure that I was factually correct. And there, Ngome Zulu 3 penalties in their game up against Glasgow. And then in their game, Scosson scored once for the Stormers and also Scudder into Benny and Watacalant. So they scored 3 times against Benetton in their last game. We have got there will be a draw. And also, what does it always have to rain up there? Like it makes the game so much less exciting and difficult for the Southern Hemisphere teams. Says not everyday cultist. And also we have got there, I know it was 20 points to 9, and come on Blumekes and Angelo. Says Robert. And also now I'm thinking food and Christmas fruitcake. Says Robert, yeah, I'll be honest, I was going to be heading back to bed after this game, but now I don't think I can without eating food first. Because I think that I'm hungry. Okay, referee saying you're both trying to buy the penalty to both front rows. We'll see whether or not either side can actually buy that penalty. Reigns 220 days a year here, says Jimbo. And doing well, Sisfire in the fireplace. Working on sculpture while I listen, says Grumlow. So hopefully it's all going well. And also, cheer, let's go. Sound happened. Sound happening over there, says Blues Nate. Okay, referees just said whoever doesn't do what he wants will get penalised at scrum time. And where are the Lions, or when are the Lions playing? Will JC Pretorius make his debut? So they did play yesterday. They were defeated. But I think has he made his debut, or is he very close to making it? He's quite close, I think. Anyway, back to the rugby. Says Blues Nate. Now Connor Murray feeding the ball. And again, 4.5 minutes remaining in this contest. Gavin Coombs charging hard at collecting Blumekes. Now off to the right-hand side. Quick hands from Munster. This is a lot better from them. Nice work from Shane McCarthy. Gave the ball in the field of play. Gavin Coombs with a diving take. And Lions played yesterday. And you keep rocking at scrum there. Sounds exciting. Now going to the right. Antoine Frisch. We haven't seen a huge amount of him throughout this matchup. Gavin Coombs tackled. Now Ivan Ruiz trying to get in there and get that turnover. Now back across to the left-hand side. Crunching tackle by Brock Harris. Crushing the man. JC came on in the 73rd minute. So he's not everyday coaches. And also we got there Leinster, says Jimbo. And there as well. But this time it is a knock-on from Munster. There is a chance of a draw here. If Stormers can finally score, you know, there's a half a chance. It'll be tricky, but it's a chance. Hold the weight, says the referee. He's getting frustrated at the moment at scrum time by the sounds of it. As this players are going to DHL, then we pay for losers. Oh no, Stormers. JC play, what position was he playing? Says Chronic there. Now 3 minutes left. I don't eat fruitcake, only chocolate caramel fresh cream cheesecake. The Xmas fruitcake. And it's fair to say it's our last chance. Yep. And that's going to be a free kick now for the Stormers. Looks like they will go for the scrum feed once more. I'm not sure how many warnings Munster will get at scrum time. That is about 7 now. And the referee is still yet to reach to his pocket. How's Ben Loader's first URC game? He did very well, Ben Loader. And he was very strong for the first 2 weeks. And then they decided to move him to the wing where he's touched the ball once throughout this whole game. We need to wear Stormers jersey. And also we get at least a losing bonus point, says Ruben. And also you're one great lad, mate. Well done. Or well done on what you do. Great service, keep doing this, says Dennis. And there now, Herschel Yankees goes off to the right-hand side. Clayton Blomakis. In fact, it's going to be Angelo David's just driven into touch. Really, really bad run. And Nankerville smacks him out. And now it's going to be a line out for Munster. Not a free, a reset, says Jimbo. And also we'll get there a time for accordions, says Scrumless. And also Munster rocking it right now, says the Blues Nate. But Jack Crowley has got himself player of the match. I mentioned how strong he has been. Turns up being able to find those passes throughout the contest. And yeah, what a Callant. Isolating Angelo Davids, who thought he was going to be able to just bump Alex Nankerville over. And Nankerville just threw him. I think is the best way of describing it. But now 2 minutes, in fact 1 minute 15 remaining. And I can see Munster now looking to try and close out this game by just hanging on to that ball at the back. Stormers looking for the counter attack and the breakdown. Unable to get it. And Brock Harris makes that tackle. Murray, 60 seconds remaining. Unless something drastic changes here, we are going to see Munster grind out a 10 points to 3 win. Murray will roll it back again. In fact, they're going to kick it. That is brave, but if it works for them, could be all right. Angelo Davids has got it back. It looks like he might have broken his arm, though. Or at least he's really hurt his shoulder. The Stormers, they will have the last chance with 30 seconds remaining. Players in off their feet for the Stormers. Referee says play on Blomakis now. Getting close. Now Herschel Yankees. Big run here forward by Morabe. We've got there Murray. It's coming close to an end. He's just not that kind of 9 months that need to push on, says Paul K. And I watch along streams to the ICC finals between India and Australia. I don't believe we'll be doing the watch along. Mainly because we might end up watching that game a little bit afterwards. Like we'll probably watch the first innings and then head to sleep and then watch the second innings after work on Monday. Away having to Dan Duplessis. He should have been at 12 and Loader at 13. They just made some bad decisions, I think is the best way of describing it for the Stormers. Although this is still their chance to draw this game. If they can get it right for the... it's a knock-on from Evan Ruiz. There will be no getting it right for the Stormers. And they will be trialists for a second week of the URC. Their last one, of course, up against the Glasgow Warriors. All good, Hamish, and it's over, says Jimbo. It certainly is 10 points to 3. A low-scoring game between the two sides, but Munster, they grinded out that win. Sorry, boys, says Herman, and also, we have got theirs over. And David says, not everyday cultist. Yeah, 10 points to 3. I should mention as well, for that other game that has taken place, The score is sitting 20 points to 5 in favour of the Dragons, so it just shows how influential that yellow card, or in fact that red card was, sorry. And maybe next week, says Ruben. And of course, for anyone wondering what is next for these two sides, for the Stormers, they have got Cardiff. That will be on Saturday morning, New Zealand time. Then they've got Zebre on the 3rd of December, and then they've got the Champions Cup. Now, I have to say, by this game, they do need to get better, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. They should have 2 games that they can win. They've actually got their home game up against Zebre, so that will build confidence for them. But away up against the Leicester Tigers, then they've got La Rochelle. They need 2 wins from 2 there if they want to walk away with a chance in the playoffs. But for Munster, their next game will be up against Leinster. That is in 7 days' time. 2nd of December, they are going to be playing Glasgow. They've got Bayonne as well as Exeter in the Champions Cup. And then another game up against Munster and Leinster taking place on December 27th. Good game, solid Ds from Munster. And also that just about sums it up. At least we got a losing bonus point, but a shocker of a tour. So he's not here everyday Cultus, and also thank you, Hamish. And also Portugal is sitting 3 points to 14. Poor tactics by the Stormers, should trust the young fastbacks more. Yeah, I don't think we saw Ben Loader really run the ball enough. Even Rohan now and Sasha Ngume Zulu, the only tactic that I saw from the Stormers in this game was kicking. And that's not what got them where they were last year. It was that attacking threat that they offer. But at the moment, we're just not seeing that. So hopefully it does improve for them throughout their next 2 games up against Cardiff and Zebre. They can build nicely towards that Champions Cup game. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back next weekend with the URC once more. Like I mentioned, a few games taking place. We will be covering some of them on the channel as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope you do enjoy the rest of your weekend as well, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. And I will see you all for the next one.